and fulfill all the things as individuals that they want to do. That's terribly important. And that they must, and we talk so much about, you know, liberation and financial, being sort of independent. And I think the beginning of all independence starts with financial independence. I think women take a lot of abuse. They take a great mother or a great wife until you are also happy with yourself. If you're unhappy and you're resentful that you never got a chance to do the things you could have done in your life, you will never be a completely happy person. Sadhguru was talking yesterday about think about yourself. And I think women need to be a tiny bit more selfish. They need to think about themselves. They need to think about what is important to them, rather than only be thinking about their children, their parents, their in-laws, their husbands. So I take that out of Sadhguru's book, that, you know, work on ourselves. We should be fulfilled ourselves as well. And I think what I did was I followed a crazy passion called theatre. I know you talked about my films, and a lot of people know me from the films, but my real mojo, my real junoon is theatre. So, and I went against my family by doing theatre, because my father was an engineer and my grandfather, everybody's doctors, engineers, lawyers. So that's another thing for young people. I always say that you will only excel in life, as you can see with people here, if you follow that passion, if you're brave enough to say, I don't care what the world is saying, but this is what I need to do.
Well, I think it's a very important and strong point, because I think a happy woman makes... a happy woman makes a happy family. A happy family will lead to a happy society and a happy nation and the world. And I think a lot of people here agree with you, Lillete. So picking on the, the issue and the point of fulfillment, Rukshmani, you've had challenges in your life. You lost your husband, but you've gone on and focused on what you wanted to become as a person, and contributed to society, give back, and you worked a lot in the areas of women's upliftment and education. What has your journey been like, and what was it that motivated you to really, keep yourself going despite all the hardships?
Yeah, I lost my husband when I was 32, and he was in the army. And when I got the news, it was on my phone. After that day, how I handled my life, it's been a very, very difficult time at that time. But I have a young growing boy, which he used to just look at me after his father passed away. And he came up to me and said, "Ma, can you just be the way you were?" So from that day I realized that, okay, I need to just be what I was. And I started thinking about other people, giving back to the society. And my life changed when I started thinking about other people. Otherwise I was just, wherever my husband was posted in the army, I used to be with him. And now I think I have a bigger role. When I go to the villages and I work for the women there and the children there, looking after what their education is, their hygiene, I think now I have something more important, a bigger role to play. And I'm very guided me since last 4 years. I've been following him. And he said one thing, he made me explain that don't do things what you like, but look around and look what is needed in the society. So from there, I've picked up, and I've been working, and I really feel blessed that I've got this task, and now I'm also into politics, so I have a much bigger role. I head the Professionals Congress in the Rajasthan, and I might contest this year. So every time there are bigger roles coming up, there will be a lot of challenges. I want to tell all you girls and ladies here. In life, you definitely get a lot of challenges, but you need to realize and look around. You need to take responsibility. If you do not take it, you are then trapped. So I think young girls, you are all the future of this nation. Work hard. That's very, very important. You need to work hard, be more focused, and realize what is needed in the society. What is around you. Work for that. I think I'm on that task. You cannot change the whole world, but you can change one life. You start with it, and I think every step, life will keep changing, and you'll get visions, and you'll be able to do bigger roles in this country. And I think in India we need women more to come in all the forums, all the platforms to work towards making our country more successful. Thank you.
Yes, certainly. I think we need women in politics. We need many more women in politics. So
Exactly.
my best wishes to you, Rukshmani.
We definitely, thank you so much.
Not only contest, but win the election this year.
Thank you.
So good luck to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And you know, we are all women here, and we often talk about how women need to support each other. You know, as you know, as a community, as somebody who understands each other. I think it's very important for women to support each other, and that, you know, brings me to my next question, Divya. You know, you've had an amazing life. You've been working for years, and you've also, because I know a little bit about you, you've been inspired by other women around you. Would you like to talk about somebody who's helped shape you into the amazing person that you are today?
Thank you, Milee, for first of all calling my life a very gratifying life. It has become. A very good afternoon, everyone. It's lovely to address such a beautiful audience. Aisa lagta hai, I think the best days of your life, when I look from the other side, are the ones where you're sitting. So please enjoy them, cherish them, and just set up your dreams right there. Because when I look back in life, I know I set up my dreams there, that I wanted to be here. So when I'm here, it feels beautiful. So you always look back as a more experienced, as a more sorted person. But you go with your mistakes. So I think the women I think there are lots of lovely women in my life, Milee, lots of them. I'd start with my mother, who the book is on. And so I was a single mother again, and a doctor, so a lot in common here. I lost my dad very early, when I was about 7. And she single-handedly brought us up. And what I really took from her was that we were in Punjab in the terrorism days. So I have seen her go through transfers, as happens in government jobs. I have seen her go through terrorism. We had all the kidnapping kind of threats and all that. The kids were packed off somewhere else in safer zones. I have seen her fight all that, and she stood by me. And when I told her I want to be an actor, everyone in the family was like, "Nahi, ye to padhai mein bahut achhi hai. Isko," I mean, I was supposed to be an IAS officer. So that's what I was aiming at. But somewhere in my heart, I wanted to be an actor. And when she got to know that, she said, "I'm going to hold this hand, and I'm going to take you right till your dreams." So for me, I think I've been a hell of a lucky girl to have a parent who believed in me. When I came to work, there were lots of women in my work field who were so very helpful. I'd like to name Shabana ji for the first, she means like a lot to me. She held my hand when I was like, you know, it matters to you when you start, who holds you up? Who holds your hand? Not really mentoring, maybe just a word. Maybe I've just come in and I'm new here and I'm nervous. Who just gives me that lovely bright smile and says, "Hey, you're doing well." You know, that thing will matter to me hamesha.
So that is what I meant, you know, women supporting
Absolutely.
Women, you know.
And we say women are, हम बहुत सास बहू के serials देखते हैं और लगता है कि सास दुश्मन, बहू दुश्मन, नहीं तो ये दुश्मन, वो दुश्मन. But I think women are women's best friends. I mean, for all these years that I have lost my mom, my friends have held me like this. I could have gone to a psychiatrist, I didn't, because I had my friends. A phone call away. किसी को फोन नहीं करना, सीधा मुझे फोन करना, बताना क्या चाहिए. ठीक है, क्या problem है? Talk to me. I think the best thing is a catharsis, where you can just, you know, just let go of everything that you're feeling. And for that, you have to have the most amazing friends. And when you bond, women can be the best. Oh my, I have bonded with her, I've bonded with her. I didn't get to really spend much time with you, but it's been beautiful. We've just met, we've laughed and all that stuff, and I think we've created a bond for life. These are the moments where you meet, where you cherish these meetings, where you cherish these bonds, and you take them ahead. And tomorrow, maybe I'm working with her or somewhere, I'm going to say, listen, I want to work with her. Let's take her, or let's do something with her.
Yes.
You go, वो कहते हैं ना, अकेला ही चला था जानबे मंजिल मगर लोग मिलते गए कारवां चलता गया. तो मुझे लगता है बहुत सारी खूबसूरत औरतें मेरी जिंदगी में.
Well, let's now talk a bit about dreams. You know, we have a lot of young people here, and Laxmi ji, you had, you're really a star. I think you had like a very challenging life. You had hardships, but you followed your dreams and you've achieved, like, you know, a certain stage in your career, maybe like most of your dreams, or to start with what you dreamt of, and that is really inspiring, I'm sure, for a lot of young people here. So would you like to talk about, you know, your journey, and, you know, what was it that kept you going? What was it that inspired you to keep on chasing your dream and never give up?
Jai Shri Mahakal. Yeah, right from, see, one thing I would like to start. The first question normally people ask, it started out of India. When I started traveling, and for the first time they see a hijra out of India. So I was like an animal of the zoo. Everybody was so amazed, the transgender world out of India, the West, the US. And for them they could not even imagine, oh, you're a hijra and you're still so much of myth and misconceptions about us. And when we started working in 1999 in this whole of, we started the first organization of transgenders. Then also people could not believe, and officers could not believe that we could really work, or we have our senses, or whether we could even talk in English. Yeah, means we are supposed to be dumb, just a mockery or just a instrument for fun or stigma or discrimination. My journey started as a child, and the question what people asked me, Laxmi, when did you know you were out? When did you realize you were different? I always said I was only out once from my mother's womb, and rest is history. I never felt I was different. It was the world which made me realize I was different. Because I didn't fit into that boxes what was created by the colonial Indian of male and female. So, my seniors to my classmates started calling me homo, gay, chakka, hijra, whatnot, right at a very early age. Though I didn't realize I was just a simple child, I wanted to go to school, I didn't want it to be abused by my senior by pinching on my butt or pulling my cheeks. But this all happened, and it happens to children like us. But okay, my teachers were good. I always say, learnt under thy feet was divine, and my teachers loved me very much, and they taught me so much good things. And yesterday I was talking to few of the girls, and the principal was also around over there, when Sadhguru was even there. Then I said, only one thing which kept me going. One of my teacher, Mrs. Menon, said, baby, you're not the crowd, you're face in the crowd. You need not bother about anything. And I said, yeah. And the 4 lines stuck to me till the date. I shall perish, thy not my name, it shall be carved in the marbles to be remembered. And to achieve that dream, to get your name carved in the marbles, I wanted to be a dancer, so I became postgraduate in Bharatanatyam. Then I wanted to be a teacher, so I even took tuition classes. I thought I'm a woman and I should be a courtesan. So I was a very famous bar dancer also, which my parents didn't know. I did, yeah, yes, Lillete. I did everything on my own. I was quite inspired by Milee, Kumari, Rekha ji. है ना, मतलब अगर मैं औरत रहती बहुत बड़ा कोठा खोलती. and I would see the patriarchal world, ये patriarchal world, पुरुष प्रधान समाज कैसे crawl करके मेरे कोठे पे आते, because we have forgot, we as a society have forgotten to teach our girls or our women to love ourselves. I was introduced to something which is abuse at a very early childhood, and it was not my abuse, it was not abuse of Laxmi Narayan Tripathi, it was abuse of my femininity. I was feminine, so my femininity was abused. And the day I got the courage to say no, the thing changed for me. I was like a cola bottle, shake it and open champagne bottle. It just came out. I didn't even care around my world. And we shouldn't. We shouldn't. That would be worse. I never thought as a hijra I would travel around the world. लोग कहते थे कि ताली बजाना है, भीख मांगना है, या you sell your body, you do dhanda, or you are at a signal. My parents, I have such beautiful parents that my father said one thing very beautifully, and that is what kept me going in life. My father said, whether educated or uneducated parents, they are not interested in knowing what their son and daughter is doing in bedroom. For me, my Laxmi Narayan Tripathi is my child, and that remains it is. My mother always said, Desi ghee ka laddu teda hi se. Mere cook ka bachcha hai na, that is nobody's business. And we disown such children. Today, I got best of the education, I got best of everything, right from being a Bollywood coordinator to choreographing to doing all the reality shows, and now being an Acharya Mahamandaleshwar, which is one of the toppest Hindu Vedic religion position, as equal to the Shankaracharya, and it is all dominated by men.
Yes.
Yeah, we women, of course, they have to pray women, that is, they are bounded by the Vedic religion. But still, everything is so bounded by men, and we women still bow our head down in graciousness and His holiness. I don't do. Tera tafakkur tujhe mubarak mujhe judai ka gam nahi. The 13 congregation went against us, but we still stood strong. I would only say one thing. My book is there, Milee Lakshmi, by Oxford University Press. With Penguin, I am the red lipstick man in my life. And Kinnar Puran is done with Devdat Patnaik, and we have come together. One thing I would let you know, what kept me going is decision taken at that junction of time was right. So even it is right now. I have no regrets in my life because it was my bloody decision. Men treated me, you remember my cover of my book, I was a lioness on a hunt, I didn't bother. But even this lioness could go into an abusive relationship. This lioness also could go into a horrible situation of life. Only because when she wants love. One thing with my own personal experience, let me tell you girls, when you want to achieve dreams, only love your dreams. And once you will be over there, there will be thousands who will love you. But don't do mistakes what even I would have done in my life. It's good to love a man, it's good to have a spouse, but not at the cost of your self-respect and dignity. There's so much else we should go around the world.
I'll come to you, Lilith, now. We always say that art is a reflection of society. Yeah. And, you've worked for decades in cinema, but art also empowers people. And you've performed all across the world. What have you learned from interacting with the audience and through the medium of theatre and art that you'd like to share with all of us today?
I really think that we have not even tapped the tip of the iceberg in terms of the transformative quality of art. Art is one of the most powerful mediums we have today. I'm sorry. Not just theatre, film. I mean, film is seen by so many people, it's such a big influencer. The net, the modes of reaching out and communicating to people are enormous now. And all of them have a very, very powerful, innate quality of transformation, which we don't really even tap. So I would say, my theatre, I have tried to, what I have worked very hard on, is to try find the Indian voice in theatre, in English. People say, "Aap Hindi mein kyun nahi karti hain? Aap isme kyun nahi karti hain?" Maine kaha, I want to take my theatre to the world. I want to take a Girish Karnad, a Mahesh L. Gunchwar, Mohan Rakesh, in a language where they will also understand. Yeah, for a very, very non-Indian audience. So one of the dreams was to make this huge sort of treasure house of literature available to people outside India, and so therefore do it in a language that is accessible to them. But I must say, I have not gone the full 9 yards by doing theatre which is really, really only for the purpose of changing society, you know. I mean, you can see how everyone has got their own take. I mean, I love what Rukshmani said. I mean, of course we should look outside, but I tell you something, artists are very selfish people. Very selfish people. They're so consumed by their own passion. And I do a lot of work for NGOs. I mean, raise money, a lot of fundraising for NGOs. And they always thank me, and I say, please don't thank me. I'm such a selfish person. I'm doing what I love, and I'm piggybacking on all of you to do some social work. So, but I mean, when I was listening to her, I said, of course, we should all think way beyond our own little worlds. But artists are not like that, unfortunately. They think, so I try to use the art that not in film, because I am not the creator of those roles or that material or that vision. But in theatre, yes, I do very eclectic plays. So I've done plays on sexual abuse, and I can tell you, because it's about the story of a mother and a daughter, and my own daughter played my daughter in it, and I played the mother. It was a very, very cathartic, meaning overwhelming experience. And I had so many people coming backstage, men especially, coming to tell me that play was called 30 Days in September. It's a stunning play. And you could see the power of what a play can do when you do a play like that. Men coming to me across the world, we've taken the play across the world. And men coming and saying, you know, I will think 20 times before leaving my little daughter alone with a male servant or with a male relative or with a male, even a sibling. Because it just never occurs to us that something of this thing can happen, because as you know, abuse happens a lot within a family, not necessarily outside, which is a horrible, horrible fact of life. Incest and abuse is most rampant inside, and we are such a suppressed society. I remember this one time, the girls will appreciate, I went to do this play in Malaysia, and we had to do a special show for students, girl students. And there was this sea of burqa-clad girls. I could only see their eyes, who were watching, and by the end of the play they were crying. And I could only see them with these eyes weeping. And later I was told that because it's a very, Muslim societies are even more repressed in some senses than ours, that it was such a rampant thing amongst them in the Middle East, in Malaysia, where it had gone, that it really struck them. And we've had women coming and having breakdowns, sort of talking about an abuse that they had buried and sort of forgotten about, which they needed to address again, because abuse colors all your relationships. So I'm giving an example of one play. I've done plays on Gandhi, I've done plays on Zen Buddhism, I've done plays on all kinds of subjects. It's a very, very powerful medium, because you're right there with the audience. You can see their reaction, you can see what's happening. In a film, what I find very strange is that I never know how they responded, to something. Here you can see it. It's an interactive, shared experience. Yeah, they're very quiet here. I hope they're listening. So, I just feel that the power of the theatre or the arts, literature, my God, literature, music, theatre. I mean, we can transform society. if we use it for good, for good.
Picking on the theme of transformation,
actually what you say, that after Aditya passed away, I had these two parts.
I have to share with you that I lost my husband 3 years ago, and when you were talking just now, I kept thinking about that whole period after and how you have to recalibrate your life.
Yes. So I want to tell you, there were these two parts. You know, I come from a very comfortable family. Everything was there. My parents would have got me married or whatever. And there was this part where I had to start working for people. So there was easier part, and then this is, I'm not saying this is difficult, but this is what that time was needed. I was looking around, and then I realized, do I want to be in this life or this life? And I chose this. So I'm so happy at this moment. That time I used to realize, but now I realize that this is the path where I was meant to go. So you like, and you have to look at the society. I think you have to look beyond yourself. When you realize that, I think पूरी कायनात लग जाती फिर आपकी मदद करने के लिए. सब कुछ. You'll meet the right people, you'll get positions, everybody will start supporting you. So I think, you should. There is a saying, say, किसी कद से महानता नहीं आती. Where आप किसी पद पे पहुंच जाते हैं. If you don't help people, any position is just a fake position, I think. So these children also, I really want to tell, if ever you reach anywhere, you should have people below you. If you cannot do that, I don't know what humanity is all about. We have to do this. This should be our first underlying thing. You'll be so happy while you sleep. I mean, the kind of content feeling I feel when it's not helped, but I've supported somebody, I feel amazing.
No, I think you have been transforming lives, and I think it's our choices, that define us. And you chose to do some very interesting things. Tell us a bit about, Star Shoes. I found it very interesting, an initiative that you have taken. And why don't you share, how it happened and how did you come up with the idea with all of us today?
So 3 years back, I was in America and I was attending a WHO program, and they were doing this campaign for African children. Soul for shoes, So soul for souls, soul for soul. So from there I picked up, then what about our children back in Rajasthan? If I talk about Rajasthan, children don't even have proper shoes. Education to hum baad mein ek cheez hum soch rahe the. But they had no shoes. We did a little survey. And when we distribute shoes to our children, we don't only give shoes, but we talk about hygiene, we get their mothers there, we talk about their education. So kind of transformation of so many things in just giving a shoe. So if in Africa or in America or any other countries can do, I started this smaller village called Chomu where I belong to. And it's been amazing. The kind of children, the mothers, we've created a community now. Just giving shoes to them. So it's been wonderful, and we're working on a lot of education. We've come up with community centers. Now women, the rural women go to the community center, they read newspapers, they stitch there. So the most important thing is mobilizing our women. Not staying at home, but getting there at one place and discussing their own issues. I think हम society में देखते हैं कि ज़्यादा सुनने वाले नहीं मिलते हैं किसी के दुख दर्द के लिए. तो एक community center बनाया हमने कि एक दूसरे की बात चर्चा कर सकते हैं. They can talk to each other. So it's been an amazing. There's small projects. We're doing libraries, पुस्तकालय हमने खोले हैं. हमने Star Shoe, महिला केंद्र, रोजगार केंद्र शुरू करे हैं. तो छोटे बहुत पॉकेट्स हैं जो हम टच कर रहे हैं. we are doing, I'm sure, good work, and I feel happy about it. Thank you.
I think these little things, as we say, go along a long way and create a difference, transform lives. Divya, you've played such amazing characters through, scores of films that you've acted over. Would you like to talk about one particular character that you really enjoyed playing and, you still remember or think about?
I think I should ask the audience which one they'd like to be in. But I gather it's Bhag Milkha Bhag for people. But to share some things about Bhag Milkha Bhag, first of all, a very candid confession. I didn't want to do that role because I was to play Farhan Akhtar's sister and I had a terrible crush on him.
That's honest.
So I told the director, I said, this is not a good casting. He said, you are an actor, perform, and just feel it. So jokes apart, when I did it, Isri Kaur was, I'm nowhere close to Isri Kaur because I express myself in every way possible. I am talkative, I am very blunt, and I make no bones about saying what I have to say. But Isri Kaur comes from a background where nothing is expressed, where everything, be it laughter, happiness, tears, sorrows, comes from tears. And for me, it was an amazing journey because I realized the power of the subconscious mind, not of me as Divya, but of me as Isri Kaur when I get into that role. So I realized something beautiful I discovered during Bhag Milkha Bhag was that even a character that you take on has a subconscious memory. So how many of you remember that scene where the little Milkha is saluted by the father? The father says salute the young Milkha. So we shot that scene first. And much later, we shot that scene, which is everyone's favorite, where I get the earrings from the coat. And so that was a very improvised scene. I was wearing jeans, and I went on the set and said, "Acha, kya karna hai?" And I go like that. I'm not a very homework person, so I just went and said, "Kya karna hai?" and very flamboyant and all that. So Rakesh Mehra said, "Go wear your costume." So that's when I realized the power of a costume. Because the moment I wore the salwar kameez, the dupatta went on my head, there was ash on my forehead, my body language changed. I sat a different way, I felt a different way, I became Isri suddenly. And I realized the beauty of acting. I think acting is actually not a right word. We are actually feeling, you're becoming and feeling a part that you're playing for that certain amount of time, and you become that. So when we didn't have the beginning or the end of that scene, so we started that scene, and as I hugged Farhan, I didn't know how to end it. So I was like, there has to be an end, there has to be an end. And we didn't use, normally we use glycerine to get tears. None of us on the set used glycerine. There was so much of emotion, absolute raw emotion out there. Suddenly I realized, didn't my father salute him earlier? Came the thought when I'm hugging him. And suddenly I just got away from him and I saluted him. And that became the scene. And nobody, Rakesh Mehra didn't say cut for that scene. I realized how much a power of improvisation, how much a power of your set, how much of you feeling, absorbing that situation. That taught me a lot as an actor. All over again, because I was talking about Shabana. She told me हम actors बहुत baggage के साथ आते हैं. हमें मालूम होता है कि you call me a good actor, you call her a good actor. But the thing is, when we go somewhere, they'll say, you know this, but तुम इसमें कुछ extra डाल दोगे. ऐसे थोड़ा इधर देखा, थोड़ा ऐसे भी देख लिया, which people like. But sometimes you need the raw stuff, which is totally unadulterated and beautiful. So that's what I unlearned in Bhag Milkha Bhag.
That we're running out of time, so I'm going to open it for questions now. Please raise your hand, identify yourself, and ask a question. Comment. It's not allowed, only a question, please.
My name is Gulmak Dutta. I am another Dutta from Punjab. And my question to you is, ma'am, the time you are working on your dream, you have two choices actually. There are two different ways. One way is which takes you towards your dream, and the second way.
Can you please pass the mic around?
Yes, ma'am. There are two ways the time you are working on your dream. The one way is which directly route you towards your dream which you want to achieve. And the second way is where your parents had given you a lot of moral values and you are bound with a lot of responsibilities. And you manage both of the ways, how to reach out towards your dream and how to manage all those responsibilities which you have. So I just want to know that what is the key to manage all those stuffs and reach out towards the destination of the dream. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Brother Dutta. What do you do?
I'm trainer here, ma'am, in college.
Is it what you wanted to do?
I always want to be an army officer, but somehow I'm one of the best trainers here.
Are you enjoying it?
Yes, I'm enjoying it.
Is it what your parents wanted you to do?
Yes, ma'am.
Then you answer it yourself. See, sometimes you grow with a certain ambition and a certain dream that I want to do this in my life. But life, I tell you, is the best teacher and the best friend. It will keep teaching you different things. Hello, isko chhod de. Aaj tumko gulab jamun chahiye na? Ruk na, main tujhe rasgulla deta hu. Tumhe shayad rasgulla better lag jaye. Who knows? But if you're very focused with what you want, like I was, I wanted to be an actor. I just did. I mean, मुझे अगर कहते कि IAS बन जाओगी, नहीं बनना था. Psychiatrist बन जाओगी, नहीं बनना था. I wanted to be an actor. There I needed my parental support and I got one. But बाकी जगह से नहीं आया था. तो वो एक step लेना पड़ा था. I got lucky that I did well and everyone was happy and content कि सही है. लेकिन there has to be a beautiful marriage between your ideas from your parents and from you. It has to be a midway. ज़िंदगी हमेशा midway होती है, extremes नहीं होती. So कहीं आपके पेरेंट्स एक स्टेप ले लें, कहीं आप ले लें. अगर आपको ट्रेनिंग बहुत पसंद है, बहुत अच्छी बात है. अगर पेरेंट्स की ही सुनेंगे और अपने सपने नहीं करेंगे, वो कहीं ना कहीं you will not be fair to yourself. Somewhere when you look back, you will tell your children, मैं जो कहूँगा ना वही तू करेगा because मैंने ये किया है. You keep on passing the bitterness ahead. So I think you need to enjoy. It's just one life. Have fun. Chase your dreams. You know how driven you are when you do what you want to do and earn out of it. It's the most beautiful feeling in the world to enjoy. Wake up bright and happy. Hey, today is a happy day. Very important. आप चाहे अपनी मर्जी का कर रहे हैं या अपने पेरेंट्स की मर्जी का कर रहे हैं, वो करें जो आपके मन को खुशी दे. वो बहुत ज़रूरी है. Please, you live your life fully.
Yeah, ma'am. I'm Surya Prakash from Dehradun. Okay, I'm Surya Prakash from Dehradun. My question is from Divya ma'am. कि मैम एक मैं ये सवाल पूछना चाहता हूँ कि क्योंकि स्त्री शायद क्या इतनी शक्तिशाली है कि पुरुष ने जो है हमारे समाज में एक हथकंडे अपना रखे हैं उसको दबाने के. ये जो शायद ऑपरेशन इसीलिए एग्जिस्ट करता है किसी ना किसी फॉर्म में.
It's very relevant. Can just give him a good round of applause. Well, I think औरत जो है वो शुरू से ही बहुत हिम्मत वाली है, बहुत ताकत वाली है. चाहे आप उसको कोई भी रूप दे दें, माँ का रूप दे दें, बीवी का रूप दे दें. आई एम सिंगल, लेकिन मेरे बाकी की ज़िंदगी में जितने भी सब लोग हैं वो मुझे एंकर मानते हैं. तो कहीं ना कहीं वो हिम्मत आती है. और ना सिर्फ आप अपना घर संभालते हैं, काम संभालते हैं, इमोशनली भी सबको संभालते हैं. सो यू आर द बैकबोन. और कहीं ना कहीं आज आपके एम्बिशंस वाले फील्ड में, प्रोफेशनल फील्ड्स में भी आप उतना ही कंधे से कंधा मिलाकर चल रहे हैं. So you will see a lot of places where, I mean, I see it. अगर मैं कहीं पर भी जाती हूँ, we were talking about job disparities, the payment disparities. So the thing is, sorry?
Pay disparity exists.
Yes. So I'm saying ये सब चीजें होती हैं, लेकिन कहीं ना कहीं हमारे फील्ड में भी डिमांड सप्लाई जब आती है, जब आपके सामने नंबर्स आने शुरू होते हैं तो सब चुप हो जाते हैं. बिकॉज आप आज अगर देखें, एक दीपिका पादुकोण है या एक कंगना रनावत है, उनको उनके हीरोज के जितना ही पेमेंट मिल रहा है. बिकॉज दे आर doing very well for themselves commercially. People like to see their movies do well on their names. तो ये कहीं ना कहीं अगर हम कहें कि इन्हें दबाने की कोशिश हो रही है, कहीं ना कहीं मर्द भी बदल रहे हैं, कहीं ना कहीं हमें इक्वल कंधा दे रहे हैं. So ऐसे लेट डाउन मत करिए. बहुत सारे हैं जो प्लीज फॉर ऑल द लवली मैन हु सपोर्ट देयर वुमेन, फॉर अ लॉट ऑफ दोज हु डोंट, मेरे को लगता है ये आदमी अच्छा एग्जाम्पल है उनके लिए कि अपनी बीवियों को दबाओ मत. यहाँ कितनी सारी औरतें हैं जो एटलीस्ट एक चीज करती हैं, जो आगे बैठी हैं, नॉट द स्टूडेंट्स, जो आगे बैठी हैं. I just want to ask a very honest, I just need a very honest answer from you. How many of you at least do one thing that you really enjoy doing apart from doing what you ought to do? And I do see a few hands not risen. So please take some, motivation from these fellow women and go out there and do what you really enjoy doing and get the men out there to support you in that.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hello everyone. Am I audible? Is it working out? I'm Dr. Sona. I'm a neuropsychologist and I'm a founder of an NGO which works on mental health awareness. I've just come to Dehradun and I'll be taking this to all the schools and colleges here. I want to add to what Divya ma'am has just said, that we are telling our girls to do what they want to do, to make their choices and to go ahead, to be happy. Yes, of course.
What is your question?
Yeah, and one second ma'am, one second, just let me make my point and then my question is that when we are telling our girls that they should do what they want to do to be happy, isn't it in some way, are we not guiding them further and leading them to a lot of disruption in their families later on? Because the family courts which I'm heading and they are having a lot of divorce cases, and 99% of the cases which are coming to us for counseling is that the ladies are not ready to listen to you. The men are ready to cooperate. So somewhere we have to put a balance that yes, you have to be empowered to do what you have to do. But when you are into a family and as a parent and as a mother, your priority to look after your children does come in first. Your choices will be given more time when your children grow up, because children are the future of the nation later on. Thank you, ma'am.
So, would you like to address that?
Yeah. Because I began my thing by saying that women should do things that fulfill them and follow their passions, their dreams, and they should not submerge them and become subservient only to the needs of their family. I started my talk by saying that, so I just want to respond to that. Everything in life is balance. Everything. Doesn't mean that because you are a mother or a wife or a daughter, you have many roles to play as a woman. And in a marriage, I think accommodation and adjustment are the sort of middle words of marriage. Of course they're there, but it's a question of balance. I'm telling this lady, आपने पूछा था ना? हाँ, it's a question of balance. Everything in life is balance. So when you're in a marriage, it is not right that you submerge yourself completely and you give up every dream, every aspiration, every wish of your own to become subservient only to the needs and wishes and desires of your family. But there is a middle path. There is a middle path. What is marriage? I mean, a lot of people are married here. They know that. I mean, for me, the middle word of marriage is compromise and adjustment, or as it is in most relationships. So of course you have to adjust. You have to make some.
But to what extent?
But to what extent exactly? The point is to what extent.
To be assertive.
You
had enough.
If women remain married 50 years ago, it was because there were many of them unhappily married. Let's admit that. They were not necessarily happily married. Our grandmother's generations and even maybe my mother's generation, marriage was something which was there for keeps and you had to do it at every cost. At every cost. So that doesn't apply either. At every cost, we don't say that girls today should just say, oh, we can't take this and walk out of a marriage. Okay? But at the same time, that kind of absolute blind sort of belief that come what may, your husband can abuse you, he may not talk to you, he may have another woman in his life. Come what may, you will stay by this marriage. I think that's a very unhealthy way for even your children to grow up. You will see you can see marriages which are unhappy even though the men and women are together. And those children are very damaged children. So we can't say people must stay together at any cost. you know, and I think women are just asserting themselves that it is to a certain extent only.
You know, with mental health and you're dealing with it and you're dealing with go-tos, the amount of damage what the patriarchy has done to the women or the feminine world can't be forgiven. So, the suppressed has a platform today in this country to speak up for themselves. Then it becomes, कहते हैं ना जब भी आपने शुरुआत किया that women support women. No, women never support women. It's always good girls and bad girls. Even, and the biggest enemy of a woman is another woman. It's blunt on all your faces. So girls, don't become that woman who will always discriminate. She's a good girl or that one is a bad girl. She's a white girl or she's a black girl. I've traveled the world and I've seen it. I'm the goodwill ambassador, the bad girl ambassador of the Global Sex Workers Network project. And over there also it's always there. That's why, you know, the longest movement is the women's movement. Though we have a complete parliament in what we say Bahumatna, majority, and still the women's bill is not passed. Because women in power over there are not pushing the bill to be passed. Now comes to your question. That children and now men are ready to compromise. But at what level the women will compromise? My femininity cannot be compromised to a level where my self-respect and dignity is taken, which I said you earlier also. So even you or me, who am I to judge the girl? Of course we are telling them to be proud. We are telling them to be with their self-respect. We are telling them to live their dreams. But they have to decide at what point they want to fulfill everything. They are their own judges. You have to become your own judges. And you shouldn't let the society be a Lakshman to pull a Lakshman Rekha in front of you. You decide your own morality. Don't allow the society to decide your moralities, girls. Because, and if this happens, and let me tell you, the higher you go in the caste and class and economics in society, that much of abuse, that much of tortures is much more prominent, and those women don't know how to access even legal, you know, I have seen so many, help. I will really, with principal sitting here, and this is an education institute, I would really urge that you all should teach the girls what is their right as in being an Indian girl, what is their right as a married girl, what is their right as a single mother in this country, which is never taught in our school syllabus. We are totally unaware. अत्याचार होता है, मेरे पे भी बहुत अत्याचार हो गया. मैं मीना कुमारी हो सकती थी और मैं लिवर सोरेसिस से मर जाती. अब मैं भी अत्याचार सहती हूँ. But the next thing is revenge was my reply. And when we are giving her revenge, then अगर वो कहती कि मैं मर्दों के साथ बुरा कर रही हूँ, कि biological women के साथ बुरा कर रही हूँ, baby, as you sow, you shall reap. So this is also taught with us. Am I right, principal? My teachers taught me this. So whether anything, we shouldn't allow in our lives people to judge ourselves. We should be our own good judge and learn the art of loving yourself. And if you love yourself, it is for men and women and anyone, gay, lesbian, transgender, whatever gender, whichever gender you come, it, he, she, or whatever you are human, you love yourself. And once you have the art of loving yourself, you will have the art of giving love away, unconditionally. Jai Shri Bhagwan.
Thank you. So we'll end on this beautiful, I know you have a lot of questions and we can take that after the panel. We are actually running out of time. Yes, and we have two panelists who have to catch flights. But thank you all of you for being a wonderful audience. We're ending on this very strong note of love. And as women, I think we know how to love and spread love. So let's do that. And we will now request
immediately and hearing all the phenomenal women here, I'm reminded just two lines from Maya Angelou's poem, Phenomenal Woman, pretty women wonder where my secret lies. I'm not cute or built to suit a fashion model size, but I consider myself phenomenally phenomenal woman. Thank you so much. I wanted to ask you a question, in one word, if you could answer, what in your eyes is a phenomenal woman? Just one word.
One word.
Just one.
How it can be a diva, ultimate diva.
Thank you.
Everything love, seductress, what else? You know, a whipper.
I now request all the phenomenal women. I now request all the phenomenal women we have on the stage to launch Divya Dutta's book, Me and Ma. And I would also like to request Anurag Chauhan, Founder Director DLF, and Mr. Amit Agarwal, Chairman, Universal World School, to join them. We have the Principal Unison World School, Ms. Meena Singh, also on the stage. I request the Principal, Universal World School, to present a token of gratitude to the guests. Yes, girls, come in. I request Mr. Ashdeep from Forest Essentials to kindly come up on the stage and present a memento to our guests. I request the girls to get the gifts for the Unison World School. I request Mr. Ashdeep from Forest Essentials and Prashant from Pratham Label, Shweta from Pratham Label to present a memento to our esteemed guests.